the Harlem legends are back at it. And this time Mase and Camron just embarrassed Dame Dash in front of the whole world, after Dame tried to claim credit for their success. They clapped back with pure comedy and cold truth, and trust me, it got ugly fast.
Killer was good, man.
How you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, man. Today I almost cried thinking about you, man.
Cam started crying, man.
For real, how you doing these days, man?
I see you every day. This morning, I literally see you every day. So just this morning, you about to.
Cam going up against me is like Fredo going up against Michael Corleone. He's Cameo.
Yo, just this morning you gonna cry for me?
Yeah, man.
All right, man.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. Well, I'm good.
You never told me about you and Big L and Dame being in the car.
I was on my way to the hill, me, him, and Big L. And I made a left on Amsterdam into a checkpoint, and I didn't have a license. But at that time, they didn't really always lock you up, but they sometimes did. So I was like, yo, I think I can get out of this, but I'm just letting y'all know I got 3 bricks in the car, but I'll wear it.
Here we go again. Dame Dash just can't keep Mase and Camron out of his mouth. After years of tension, the Harlem drama is back louder than ever. Dame recently did a new interview where he started running the same old play, trying to take credit for everyone's moves this time. He claimed that Mase and Cam's hit Show It Is What It Is was inspired by his hustle and mentality, saying they got their boss energy from him. The internet wasn't having it, and neither were Mase and Cam, who clapped back on air and humiliated him in front of the entire culture. It started when Dame sat down with a small podcast and began reminiscing about the Rockefeller days. At first, he was cool talking about building brands and ownership. But as the interview went on, his tone switched. He started saying that Mase and Cam learned everything from me, and that they wouldn't be doing what they're doing if they didn't watch him first. Fans were like, wait, what? Because everybody knows Dame had nothing to do with Mase and Cam's show. They built that from scratch, no label, no backing, just Harlem energy and pure chemistry.
Yeah, yo, I seen that. I didn't know me, Big L, and Dame was in the car together.
Cam started crying, man. And he told us right then and there that he would put himself in PC. Dad, I'm putting myself in PC. Me and Big L like, what? What? I
didn't even know that me, Big L, and Dame have ever been in the car together.
Oh, man.
You know what's great? I was going to save that for my show because I didn't want to get into this. I really didn't want to get into it.
Yeah, I was going to mind my business, but I saw Mo with the popcorn. I said, so he's taking my part, boss.
I've never, look at Mo got the
I might as well talk with Flea.
So we went to the side and was like, afterwards we were laughing, but we were like, I was like, I will never hustle with him. He's a ball player and he does music. So I never really, he's a civilian. But you can't be saying you the best that ever did it in Harlem and you never sold drugs. And if you had to go to Ohio after you was a rapper, that's not the best that ever did it. How dare you say some shit like that?
So when clips of that interview hit social media, the reactions came fast. People were calling Dame delusional, saying he's living off stories from 20 years ago. And that's when Mase and Camron stepped in to set the record straight, but in their own hilarious Harlem way. On the next episode of It Is What It Is, they didn't hold back. Mase looked straight at the camera and said, yo, stop letting people rewrite history. Man, ain't nobody teach us how to talk. We were born with the game. Cam followed up with that famous smirk and said, Dame out here talking like he invented hustle. No, he's just loud about it. The whole studio started laughing, but underneath the jokes, you could tell they were dead serious. Mase and Cam were tired of Dame trying to attach himself to their success every time they win. This wasn't even the first time Dame pulled this move. Every time one of them does something big, he slides into interviews acting like he was part of it. From Dipset's legacy to Mase's comeback, Dame's always trying to remind people how much he inspired Harlem, but the truth is, Harlem outgrew him a long time ago. And that's what made this roast so funny, because it wasn't just jokes. It was closed. Mase and Cam were basically saying, you're not our boss, you're our memory.
Now, I'm going to say for totally, but I didn't know that nigga was such a liar. Like, you know how your man is your man, so you probably don't be annoyed. Like that's your man. You be like, nah, you just hate us. I didn't know this a lot like that, man. Yeah. First of all, let me tell you something. And I'm going to tell you to talk Flea, but Mase, no.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, bro. Big L is not your man. This whole shit don't even make no sense. First of all, I'll say this real quick because we got to move on. Me, you, and Big L going to get drugs or riding around Harlem don't even sound right. Big L didn't f with you. I tried to plug you into Big L when you wanted to sign him when he started his own label, Flamboyant. And y'all was trying to sign him. But Big L brother, Big Lee and Reg, they didn't like you. If you had 3 bricks in the car, or you was on the way to get 3 bricks in the car, or on the way to get bricks, whatever fucking lie you told, story you told, you wouldn't have made it home. Big L lines niggas. Mase, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He lied to me. So,
Yo, Big
you
L.
got a point there.
That's what I'm
Yeah, you quick on your feet.
Big L lines like barbers, my nigga. You wouldn't have made it home, my nigga. Stop that. Yo, it's really, you going out bad, bro. Stop lying, my nigga. Me, you, and Big L have never been nowhere to get no work or had no work or stopped in a checkpoint or nothing, my nigga. You going out bad, but I'll just sit on talk with Flea Murder. But yeah, man, you might need to say a prayer for me.
Yeah.
After that episode dropped, the internet went crazy. Fans were reposting clips left and right, calling it the funniest Harlem clapback ever. Mase and Cam didn't just embarrass Dame, they reminded everyone why their chemistry works. The balance of Mase's calm confidence and Cam's slick humor made the whole situation look effortless. They didn't even raise their voices. They just talked like to men who know their worth. While Dame is still out here chasing validation, Kim said something that really hit home. Every time we do something, somebody from the past pops up saying they taught us. Bro, you weren't in the room when we were building this. That line had fans screaming facts across the internet. Because truthfully, Dame's been running the same routine for years, trying to stay relevant by connecting himself to whoever's hot. Whether it's Jay-Z, Kanye, or now Mase and Cam, Dame always acts like he's the architect of everyone else's success. Mase added his own twist to the roast, saying, "It's funny cause when we were all coming up, I don't remember him giving me no mic, no beat, no contract. I remember him talking a lot. That line cut deep." Because what Mase was saying without saying it directly is that Dame's biggest contribution to the game wasn't action, it was attitude. He was loud, confident, and motivating, yeah. But when it came to results, it was the artist who made history.
Larry, what did you have to say about this? If y'all don't know, y'all keep bringing Larry's name up. He'd be like, yeah, I gave you Larry.
I put you with Larry.
Pause.
Because your show, you're sitting next to Larry. I introduced you to Larry.
Man, I got a lot, but a little.
First of all,
I'm the reason why he got sued.
But what happened was Larry and I and Muddy Waters, the people that are suing me now, we all threw down on a movie and there was a disagreement of some sort. And this is the reason why I have all these lawsuits now. And I don't like the way Larry did his business and he hung up on me.
Boom. Let's move on to A-Track. He told me I ain't supporting A-Track album. One day Dame like, yo, this nigga ain't A-Track, he's nice, da-da-da-da. I'm like, all right, cool. Dame got an ear, he know what's going on. Let's do it. A-Track come to my house. This probably 2013, 14. I got a studio in my house. He come to my house, this word to everything I love. I'm cooking, I'm doing songs. I'm cooking, I'm doing songs. I'm in the middle of shuffling. You can ask anybody who there. Rocky, Dame's wife, his assistant, they all still around. Ask him. I'm shuffling, doing songs. I cooked a full course meal and knocked out 7 songs in like an hour and a half. 7 songs. And cooked everybody food, sandwiches, all that. That's me. That's how well-rounded I am. They can't deny you. Ask him about it, he'll tell you.
Then came the viral joke that broke the internet. When Cam laughed and said, "Next time Dame talks about us, I'm sending him an invoice for emotional consulting." He clearly thinks he is managing us again. Mase fell out laughing, and fans online couldn't get enough within hours. Clips of that line had millions of views across TikTok and Instagram. People were quoting it in comment sections under Dame's interviews, calling him Harlem's unpaid life coach. Even blogs started picking up the story. Hip-hop pages posted headlines like Mase and Camron roast Dame Dash for rewriting Harlem history. And the comment sections were ruthless. Fans were saying things like, Dame is still living in 2002, and Mase and Cam just gave him the reality check he needed. But this wasn't just a one-time moment, it was a cultural reset. For years, Dame's been preaching about ownership and legacy, but he's been doing it with an attitude that pushes people away. Meanwhile, Mase and Cam have been showing that you can be bossed up and have fun doing it. They are proof that Harlem evolved and that not everyone wants to live in the past. So, when they clowned Dame this time, it was different. It wasn't mean-spirited. It was the kind of roast that comes from two men who grew up watching the same dream turn sour, but decided to rebuild it their own way.
He like, damn, Cam, you in here doing rhymes and cooking and yeah, man, take a turkey wing, man. Get a lamb chop, nigga. Let me go in the booth, spit these bars. And you dropping fire like that? Boom, yeah, cool. I knocked the whole album out. Maybe 2 trips. When Dame was there, it was cool. The album was cool. As soon as Dame leave, A-Track, and he my duty, all that. He's cool. Me and him have no problems. But he becomes all artsy. Do you think that if we put the snare where the treble should be, and then boom, we get another beat? A-Track, the shit done. Yo, what are you talking about? I put a marvelous masterpiece together while I was cooking. I think we should get this person on something. All right, bet, do what you want. I gave you the balls. 2 years passed. Like, yo, let's freshen up the album. All right, cool. Go in the studio again. We go in the studio again in my crib.
Now, let's keep it real. Dame Dash's downfall didn't happen overnight. There was a time when he was one of the most powerful voices in hip-hop. Back in the Rockefeller days, he was that guy talking ownership, dressing flashy, standing next to Jay-Z and yelling, "We bosses." But after the label split, everything changed. Jay kept building quietly, and Dame, he kept talking. Somewhere along the way, that talk turned into bitterness. Over the years, Dame's been popping up on every podcast that'll have him, trying to lecture the new generation about honor and morals. But the energy doesn't feel the same anymore. Instead of inspiration, it feels like desperation. And that's exactly what Mase and Camron were calling out that fake "I built everybody" narrative Dame uses to stay in conversations he's no longer part of. On is what it is. Mase put it perfectly. You can't take credit for something you didn't create just cause. You used to be around it. He followed it up with, "Harlem's problem is too many people wanting to be the boss of everything, even when they didn't do the work." Cam added, "You can't claim everybody's success just because you yelled the loudest in the room." Those bars right there hit harder than any diss record, because they spoke to what everybody's been thinking for years.
I knocked some more out for the nigga. He got some features on there now. All right, cool. I knocked it out again 2 years later. He calls me again, "A-Track, well, I think if I get this other beat, man, do what you want to do. I don't even know you like that. I'm not being cool, A-Track. I want to brush him off like I don't know him now." Another 2 years come back. We in Vegas now. Yo, Larry got a studio in Vegas. Let's go there and knock the A-Track out. Again? It's 5 years. All right, bet, fine. Go to the studio, man. Fuck it. 5 years done passed. I knock it out again. Some more A-Track called me about 18 months later talking about, "You want to do?" No, I don't want to do nothing else, man. No. I knocked it out the first 48, but you want to keep doing shit over and over and over. Then when I hear the final, he calls me another 2 years. So now the album is like 9 years old. He calls me and says, "Yo, I think I got distribution." Man, I don't give a fuck about that album, man. The fuck you talking about we got distribution? Man, don't do whatever with that shit. It's a decade old. I don't give a fuck.
And the truth is, Dame had a chance to evolve. He could have linked up with Mase and Cam, supported them, and showed love. Instead, he keeps acting like he's owed something. Every time they win, he tries to attach himself like it's part of his legacy. But the game moved on. The audience moved on. Harlem doesn't salute old ego, it salutes new growth. That's why fans are calling Mase and Cam's roast more than just a clapback. It's a generational shift. They're showing how to handle hate with humor and truth. They're not arguing, they're laughing while collecting views. They're not fighting to prove who's boss, they're showing it by winning. Even people who used to side with Dame are changing their tune. Some of his own supporters commented, "I respect Dame's hustle, but he gotta stop dissing people who ain't thinking about him," others said. This is the first time someone roasted Dame, and he can't respond without sounding salty. And that's the real key, because once people start laughing at you instead of fearing you, your power is gone. And right now, Mase and Cam got Harlem laughing louder than ever.
Then he gets that honor up, and it's a lie what he said. It was a lie. So I'm like, why is he lying? And then I'm like, he knows Mook is in there. Pause. In the movie, Smoke Dizza, my OG Daniel, Black, my whole crew. So you trying to diss my whole crew and make what they did whack, but everybody else says it's good. It was in the New York Times. Kanye gave the illest premiere and everyone said it was, everyone has said that. Why would you say that?
Promote it. I'm saving you by not promoting it. It was nasty. You my man. I ain't gonna let you go outside like that. All them other niggas who let you go outside like that, they ain't your man.
After the dust settled, Dame tried to play it off like he didn't care. He went live saying, "They can joke all they want, but I'm still the blueprint." But by then, the internet had already moved on. Mase and Cam's roast clips were everywhere, turning into memes, edits, and sound bites. The people had spoken. Harlem picked its side, and it wasn't the past. It was progress. Mase said it best near the end of the episode. "We not beefing with nobody. We just telling the truth, and the truth don't expire." That line summed it all up. They weren't trying to destroy Dame, they were putting him in his place. Because there's a difference between being a legend and being a liability. Dame is still respected for what he built, but he lost respect for how he acts. Camron doubled down, saying, "Harlem always gonna be Harlem." But we not stuck in 2001. We outside. We moving forward. You either evolve with us or get laughed at from the sidelines. And that's exactly what's happening. Dame's on the sidelines, watching the city evolve without him. Fans started tagging Dame under every "It Is What It Is" clip, saying, "See what happens when you talk too much." Some even joked, Dame better call up Mase and Cam for an interview just to stay relevant. The whole thing turned into one big Harlem lesson: talk less, work more.
To me, this has been one big setup. I will say that. I think this whole from the jump is a setup, bro. Dame is beefing with 50 Cent on the internet. I bump into 50 Cent. 50 Cent sees me and be like, "Killer, what's up, nigga? Getting some money. You know, oh, nigga, what you used to do back in the days, pat nigga pocket, you getting that money? Cool. Me and 50 good. We ain't got no problem." Dame calls me and says, "Yo, I seen 50. How you gonna let him pap you up?" This is verbatim what Dame said. I'm telling the audience verbatim. "Yo, I seen 50. You and 50. How you gonna let him pap your pockets? That ain't Harlem."
We not, Harlem niggas don't do the Pat Pat Club. When you see niggas from Harlem, just give them a pound.
"You down with the Pat Pat Club?"
We not in the Pat Pat Club.
"How you down with the Pat Pat Club? Letting niggas pat your pockets?"
Yo, why he giving you the Pat Pat?
Their pockets. I say, "Dame, I don't give a f." Now, mind you, pause this story right there. If you gonna say something about 50 cents, what are you calling me for to get my okay if you're beefing with 50 cents? You shouldn't even have to call me about that if you're gonna be talking about 50 cents. Dame gets on the blog and says, "Yeah, and this nigga Cam let 50 cents smack him on the ass."
And here's the thing, Mase and Cam ain't doing this out of hate. They're doing it out of pride. They love their city, but they're tired of the old heads trying to gatekeep success. They build a platform that's 100% Harlem, the jokes, the honesty, the confidence. And they're proving that you don't need to brag about being a boss when you already move like one. At the end of the day, this whole situation showed exactly why Mase and Cam are winning. They don't chase validation. They don't fight with ghosts from the past. They turn everything even hate into content, laughter, and money. And that's the new Harlem way. So yeah, Dame Dash tried to make himself part of their story again. But all he did was become the punchline. Because in 2025, the real bosses are the ones talking about ownership. They're the ones who actually own their platforms. And when it comes to Harlem's future, Mase and Cam are proving that the crown doesn't sit on nostalgia. It sits on results.
You know, 50 patted him on his hips twice. He gave him a pat pat. So I'm like, yo, why you smacking Cam on his ass like that? Pause, like what? And
Said it, and I'm like, yo, why would he say that? I called and asked you. I asked you, could I say that? That's not what you asked, could you say, because I wouldn't agree to that. I did not agree to that. But I didn't say anything. I ignored it. I ignored the whole I just didn't pick up the phone for the nigga because I'm like, so now after that, he does another interview.
And you letting 50 smack you on the hips? And y'all chilling? Something must be going on. A Harlem never lets anybody smack him on the hips, on the ass. Not even in ball, be like, yo, stop, chill, don't smack me on my ass.
I've never known Dame to be a liar, but the truth, and I'm like, bro, I ain't know this nigga was a liar too. He never lied, man. Bro, I ignored you for wild interviews, and then I say honor up his whack, and he go on this campaign.
I think the narrative should be stop talking about Damon so much if you don't want to hear Damon talk.
You come talking about me with an eye patch and no top teeth, I gotta take it easy?
But do remember, I will have teeth next week. Holla.
So I think it's good for him. I think the internet nowadays is therapy for him. And he turned into the chatty patty that he told everybody else not to be. He probably can't afford to go to therapy right now. So this is probably good for him because he needs therapy.
So there you have it. Mase and Camron just reminded everybody why they run Harlem now. Dame Dash tried to rewrite history again, but all he did was write himself into a joke. Every time he tries to attach himself to somebody's win, they flip it into content. And this time, Mase and Cam made him viral for all the wrong reasons. This wasn't just a roast, it was a reality check. Harlem has evolved, and the new wave doesn't need gatekeepers or approval from the past. Mase and Cam built something from nothing. They own it, and they're proving that real power comes from staying relevant, not reminiscing. Dame had his time. Now it's their era. They're running it with laughter, not ego. But what do you think? Did Mase and Cam go too far, or did Dame bring this on himself? Drop your thoughts below, and let's talk about it. Make sure you like, comment, and hit that subscribe button.